just I think we have to give the customers more credit than what they are given today.
I agree.
And that's what I think. If we go back to the old school way of doing it, I mean, they're just going to go somewhere else. I mean, like, I think it's perfect. People want to buy. They don't want to be sold. That is just the way it is. And if you go out there and say, I'm going to sell, you're just in trouble.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Strategy with Jason podcast. Tune in for everything you need to know to stay in the know regarding the automotive industry. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It is Jason Harris here, and thank you for joining me another episode of Strategy with Jason. Today we are in beautiful Napa Valley, California at the amazing DMSC event hosted by the one and only Glenn and Brian Pash. I have an amazing set of guests with me today. I have Curtis, Tara, and Steve. Guys, what's up? How you doing?
Just lovely.
Wonderful.
Doing great.
Doing great. That's what happens when you give a kid a microphone. Hey, for everybody out there watching and listening right now, maybe don't know kind of who you are and what your background is, I'd like to kick off these podcasts with a little origin story, because I'm always fascinated. So, Curtis, I'll start with you, and I'll work my way down. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in this crazy little world we call the automotive industry.
Well, I started selling cars about 25 years ago, and I realized pretty quickly that I didn't like sitting around doing nothing, so I got into automotive marketing, worked my way up to software development. I built the first automated sales retention product in the country. It's still used today by AutoPoint Solera, and built 7 different lifecycle marketing platforms.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that you just kind of decided to jump into automotive.
Yeah.
You just woke up one day, right?
I did.
You did? You're like, I'm going to get into
I stopped by.
automotive. Oh, you stopped by.
To buy a car, and I got a job.
That wasn't a nightmare, though, was it?
It was like,
Feels like
I woke up and it wasn't a dream. I'm actually in the business.
and I peed my pants.
All right. I'm sorry, Tara. You could be in between the two of these. No, I'm just kidding.
Awesome.
Tara, I love your story. So share with the audience who maybe don't know who you are, a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the business.
Well, right now I feel a little bit like Marissa Tomei and my cousin Vinny when they asked her why she was qualified to be a mechanic after that. Because, my father was in the car business. I was born in Flint, Michigan.
Love it.
I was born in Flint, Michigan, home of GM. My whole family worked for manufacturers, obviously. After I got out of the Army, I started selling cars. Cute story there. But started selling cars, and I worked my way up through the dealership at the front of the house, from salesperson all the way up to GM. About 6 years ago, decided I wanted to actually sit on my butt more, and got into media. So started working for Spectrum Reach, and I'm the automotive director of sales and strategy.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very nice. Wow.
Now, Steve, from a hatchling, got into the automotive. No, just kidding.
I was born in an accident.
He was genetically modified to be in the automotive industry. that's why his hair sticks up like that, by the way. No,
That's right.
Steve, how'd you get started in this crazy world?
Well, I just told you the story of what last week, but I'll throw a different spin on it this time. I've been in 3 industries. So I was engineering for 5 years. I did medical for 16 years, and then I got in automotive. But the last 15 years of my career have been startups. So what I was passionate about, what I learned with my first startup, getting successful in medical, transformed me because I was using CRMs throughout my entire career. So when a buddy of mine who I met on my 4-wheeler asking about, hey, do you want to play poker? You want to do poker night? He said, hey, after we play poker and we hang out for a while, he said, man, I want you to take a look at the CRM. And I took a look at it and had video in it, and I just was sucked into helping them build a product in the automotive space, which I love CRM, so it just was a natural fit. But I didn't think I'd ever leave the medical industry to get in this industry. But no, clearly I'm a fit.
You are. You love.
Or a misfit.
CRM.
I don't know.
Misfit. No, actually, I love that you bring up the word, because I've described the automotive industry several times as being the island of misfit toys.
Oh, yeah.
You guys remember that movie? We're talking about being
yeah.
kids.
Well,
in the
actually, I have
80s.
a comment about Steve, if you don't mind.
Absolutely,
I just,
please.
So, been in 25 years in the car business, and you've seen this too, that a lot of the vendor community, or just companies, period, come and go. But the good ones always have a front man. And there's no question that you are Drive Centric's front man, and one of the best that I've ever seen in this industry.
Well,
and
thank you.
That's a compliment. You won't get anything more than that.
My hair is getting bigger as we speak.
Yes.
My hair's getting bigger as we speak.
am so sorry you're caught in the middle of this.
Tara's such a trooper, man. I love it. I love it.
She's
Oh,
like,
but
"Oh,
thank
yeah."
you. That's very kind. I mean, it's a pleasure. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great industry. It really is, and really the automotive community and just all the friends. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just always happy that when you come in as an outsider, there's already a good group of people, and you just wind up meeting new people as
Yep.
you go to these shows. And so I was very happy and blessed that a lot of people were welcome a stranger into this industry. So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, Curtis, the fact that you actually brought up kind of the vendor relationship, I think that's actually kind of a cool direction to go because, when I was a dealer principal, I always kind of considered my vendors as like a stew. Right, I got a dash of this, I got a chunk of that, and I got to sprinkle in a little bit of this, and it's got to taste good, not
Right.
just to me and my staff, but also to the customers.
Sure.
But I'm finding, definitely recently that there seems to be more and more division, all right, in kind of the vendor world, and it's like everybody wants to own their portion of the experience.
Sure.
And because of that, the handoff from maybe one piece of technology or one portion of marketing to the CRM to the overall, it seems to be a disconnect. So I think that's
Yeah.
kind of what I wanted to jam a little bit about today, guys. And I wanted to kind of get your thoughts and opinions of how we can kind of better, the technology handoff experience, between vendors. So Curtis, I'll start with you, and I'll work my way down to Steve.
Well, I mean, I think that subject, when you just brought up the fact that we should go down and talk about the customer experience, there's no question here at this conference that the customer experience has been at the forefront. And it's one of the things that I actually developed the first consumer portal with my equity mining platform back in 2010. And, there's been a lot of companies that have tried to do, somewhat similar things and stuff like that. But the reason why we did it was because salesmen would take phone calls and they'd update the customer's mileage and basically, pretty nominal stuff. I'm not ready to buy a car right now, but I want my data accurate, right? And so we started picking up those signals from the customer that it was important that they had a contribution to their vehicle profile, household profile. And so that consumer experience started for us a long time ago. And so we carry that through today, where they're able to work their own deal, much similar to how a digital retailing tool works today. Difference being that we're there all the time. We're the light switch that turns on when you buy a car, and that's it, And so where we like to do what you talk about, the handoff, is handing off that, in your case, if we're able to give data to, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm able to give you data, you can target those people, can you not?
Absolutely.
Okay. And for you, in your case with Drive Centric, if I get this person, I'm sending out these communications, like, Honda downtown LA, we sent out like 56,000 communications last month. So my handoff is going to go to Drive Centric in the form of an ADF XML lead into their CRM, but only when the consumer has come from the top of the funnel down to a point where we want to really follow up with that customer because they're ready to go. Not every single lead that comes into the CRM is one that you should chase. And so we want to be the ones that when you see that come in, you take action on it because it's real. And that's kind of our customer experience. We do a lot of other things, but I don't want to hog the mic.
No, but look, I think we're getting into the era of dealers being more data conscious.
Yes.
They understand it. Like the data's there.
Yeah.
All right. I need to be able to utilize it and how I can actually make it actionable. Tara, there's so many different data points that we can work off of, and dealers are becoming more and more educated with that. But that's a huge important part of handing that off is that data exchange.
100%. And for my company right now, we're really looking at working with all of the people in that data stack that dealers are having to work with right now and finding ways to partner with them and make it so all that data can be handed off and transferred in a more seamless way. That's really important to us because obviously we want to be able to show that our metrics are working as well. We have lots of data points of our own. Dealers have lots of data points, but to be able to partner with all the vendors and all of us start working together and really making it so it's not this, walled off area. Well, this is my space or that's your space. Just working together and making that experience easier for the dealers. I think partners that accomplish that are really going to be the ones who win in the end because they're going to make the dealer's world so much easier and effective for them.
Well, it betters the customer experience. I mean, that's the whole point, right? It is being able to connect those dots and exchange that data, having that data handoff from one piece of technology to another piece of technology is just ultimately going to just better the experience. Look, the more behavioral data you can take from the CRM, and you guys are hardcore video, how much better does that make that video when the customer, when that salesperson's able to see so much more of that consumer journey up until the point it hits CRM.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I'm just going to go back on Curtis and everything coming in downstream into the CRM, because the one thing that I can appreciate that we're all saying is I think collaboratively vendors need to work together. I mean, I hate the word vendor, but I prefer partner. But the way I think it's important that everybody knows collaboratively how, like, I know how their product works, how their product works, how our product works, because ultimately if the dealer hears the same message right now, I think they get so many different messages. What do I believe? And I think that's one of the things, just coming from previous industries, that is very important. I mean, I know we're not in medical, but I mean, you talk to a doctor about a therapy or a surgery procedure, and it's very important that the nurse assist, first assist, everybody's saying that it's working collaboratively together as a team for that best therapeutic outcome. I really believe that, like if we're going out and marketing, and let's just say we know that our stores are getting a 70% engagement. If your sources are having better success in certain digital communication, how do you get that customer into the store? That's where, like, for example, video, what should the salesperson say on a video to, let's say, your customer or your customer? Because we could go out there and teach video all day long, but there may be some good strategies that you've seen at other dealerships that, hey, if they're going to send a video, this is the best script to do a video to. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the customer experience, everything what we talk about falls in the CRM. Customers buying cars so fast. So the biggest thing that I always, work collaboratively with other vendors on is make sure customers are heard and responded to very, very fast in a conversation. We are in a chat world. So that's what 100%. Our CRM becomes, is more of a chat tool.
Well, it's about the speed of connection.
Yeah.
Right? That's ultimately what it is, right? From the marketing to the data to the CRM to the engagement platform, it is all just about just connection. So many things I think have changed in just our approach to the customer experience in the last 24 months, which was kind of interesting, right? Because I think kind of leading up to COVID, we were still a lot of conversations on how do we better the customer experience? How do we better the holy grail of the customer experience? We're trying to define what that is, and then bam, pandemic hits, and it almost just kind of forces us to fast track. I mean, I saw more changes to the customer experience in a positive way over the last 24 months than I probably have in the last decade before that. But I am a little concerned, though, that as things come back to normal, inventory levels start to rise. Do we go back to the way it is? I'd love to kind of get you guys' thoughts on that.
I have a big opinion on that because I've thought a lot about that. So I've had a lot of friends, and I'm sure you guys have as well, who are also vendor partners who have not made it and have lost their companies and I think that's part and parcel to, you talked about the divisiveness being at a higher rate today than it was in times past. And I think that's because what happens when you're in the wild, right? Everybody's trying to go for that one, the hunt and the kill. And I think that's what's happened here is because I'm a guy that goes into the stores all over, the Southwest. And so there's a huge difference today than there was 6 months ago and the previous 6 months before that, because I was in the stores all the time with on a mask or whatever. And I think what has changed is there's a lot of companies who decided, kind of like the OEMs doing with the payments when they're never calculated correctly, it's a space they shouldn't be in. Okay, they have a dealer network who calculate payments accurately for a reason. And so they, I can also be vocal about it like Brian can, because I don't have any factory programs, but they shouldn't be in that space. And I think there's some vendor companies who have gotten into doing things that they don't typically do. And so now there's this natural divisiveness that has come up because I look at him, he's calculating payments now. Now he's my competition. No, he's not. He's not, okay? What we need to be doing is having a conversation about how I can calculate a payment in the cloud at home and hand it off to him in the store so there's not a letdown. And so I think, ultimately, what was the question? I forgot.
And, Curtis, you're the best, by the way.
Sorry.
But no, I do like where you're going with that, because it is really the need of technology, right? The need of technology and process was just exponential in the last 24 months. And because of that, I think as in the vendor world, we all kind of like picked up our britches, like, okay, let's do this, and we all just started developing as quick as possible to kind of meet the need.
I got it now. You said what happens if we decide to go back. So that's the part I've been thinking about is, what do you do if you have kids? You know that if you teach them over and over and over again, eventually they'll forget their old habits and they'll keep the new habits. And I think we're kind of at that point in this industry where the chip shortage has been so long, because I mean, you guys remember, you don't remember because you're probably in medical, but 08, 09 turned out, oh my God, it was brutal, right? And we didn't know when it was going to end, but we knew at the end of it, okay, if this comes again, there is an end, there is a cycle to it. And so I think we're kind of there too, because I think that some of the habits they're going to keep, and hopefully those would be the positive ones.
Yes.
But I also hope they keep the profitability. Maybe not the guy that's way up here, that $17,000 on a Kia, But I mean, just let's keep, because the dealers deserve to make the profit off of new cars and used cars, and let's keep that consistency, and let's not race to the bottom. But at the same time, let's exchange information. Let's share information with each other, because, I'm no good if I don't share with you, you're no good, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, I hope that we keep some of the stuff that has happened to us.
We got to keep that snowball. Tara, for yourself, how do you think we can kind of maintain that snowball of change and we keep that rolling? Or are you concerned, like myself? I am concerned. I got no problem admitting it. Like, I am concerned that inventory levels will come back and we're just going to go right back to what's comfortable with us, because, like, the way we're communicating is not comfortable. So, Tara, what are your thoughts?
So it's going to be an unpopular opinion. Have you ever
like-
seen
I
that show,
like
Unpopular Opinions?
Bring it.
Yeah, ready.
So I think it's going to be hard to go back to the way it was, because you're going to have 18 months at least, 2 years is solid, but 18 months at least of sales staffs who haven't been selling.
Yes, that's correct.
So it's hard to go back to what you were doing before when you have people who don't know how to sell cars anymore, which is that necessarily a bad thing? There's definitely bad parts to that. There's bad parts to it because they're not doing anything to engage the customers or give that great customer experience. Actually, I'm finding they're giving horrible customer experience. They're like, yeah, I got one. It's over there. You want it? I mean, you've done nothing to brand or really make that person be there. But on that customer journey as well, if we can then train these salespeople who don't have that sales experience to just be more customer-centric, because they're obviously not salespeople at this point anyhow.
Yes.
But to train them to be more customer-centric, maybe we get that positive result and it does continue to snowball, like you said, and can move this forward. Maybe it is the catalyst. It has to get that bad before the positives come out of it and it comes down the hill.
No, that's a great point. In fact, when I think about it, you think about, during the pandemic, leading through it, there was just a big focus on experience and the technology that experience brings. And then we're getting back to normal. Now we're dealing with a chip shortage and an inventory shortage. And it's just, to your point, it's like, it's over there. Yep.
Yeah.
$5,000 over that price. You don't want it? All right. Have a good day.
Tomorrow it's going to be $6,000.
Tomorrow's going to be $6,000. You better
Sorry,
buy
it
it
just
today.
Oh my gosh.
Steve, man.
Seems
your
like I'm
thoughts?
going back to medical. I'm done.
No. I mean, I'm telling you, like, again, not being in it as long as you all have, but I mean, look, I'm all about the customer experience. And I think Sherry said something yesterday in the presentation, and it was great the way she put it out there about having empathy for the customer as well as being knowledgeable about the product. Look, we're selling cars. There's so much information out there. I mean, the way I kind of look at it, and again, I liked bringing things from other industries into automotive because it's so relevant. And if you have a kid with type 2 diabetes, you're probably in a forum, on Facebook.
Yep.
And, what I tell everybody is, and this was 10 years ago, so keep that in mind. But you could go in and I would tell the doctor, hey, I want to get this prescription because this is what I know that this forum group says it's the best prescription. Write me that prescription. We're going into that therapy. You know what that makes me? My own doctor. Yeah. What do I need you? I need you to write the prescription, Mr. Doctor. So the idea is we're selling cars and there's so much information. You could go into an F-150 Facebook group probably and ask any question if you want on the F-150. And you can be more knowledgeable than anybody else. Say, I just want that car. Yeah. So the reality is that stuff is happening today. Yeah. And so I think we have to give the customers more credit than what they are given today.
I like
agree.
that.
And that's what I think. If we go back to the old school way of doing it, I mean, they're just going to go somewhere else. I mean, like, I think it's perfect. People want to buy; they don't want to be sold. That is just the way it is. And if you go out there and say, "I'm going to sell," you're just in trouble.
Yeah.
You got to.
You're
I think
100% right.
customer experience is everything. If I can get the customer to laugh, give me an LOL, send me a GIF back, send me a video back, I created customer experience. If you don't get any of that, customer experience is not tangible.
Yeah.
There's no way. So when a dealership says, "Oh, we got great customers," how do you know?
Yeah.
No, but you're
Well,
you're 100% right. I mean, thinking about this, guys. I mean, look, and I love, Tara, that you said this. I mean, look, the inventory shortage is not going to be solved anytime soon, right? We probably have at least another 18, 24 months, and maybe some manufacturers 36 months. And what's that doing to our salespeople? They're no longer being salespeople. They're only facilitating the transaction.
Right.
So then I guess my next question for you guys, because I'd love to kind of get your thoughts on that, is then what is the responsibility of a salesperson over this period?
Well, is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. So
Did you put your hand up?
and hi, Curtis. So here's what I would say. So I'm from Colorado, so I'm close to the guys at A to Z Sync, and I know Alan Crutch, the guys at Fuse and stuff like it. It's been fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And Murat and I have known each other for 10 years. I mean, there's seriously no better operator. Well, there's other better operators, but not that young. I mean, he's really going to be a great instrument in our industry, and I hope he keeps coming out and speaking. But the single sales model that I had a unique opportunity with a guy by the name of Brian Hudson who works for A to Z Sync, and he gave me the whole tour and everything inside their headquarters. And what I would say is that when you use their model, you have a sales process that's replicatable because you're reliant on the software process from A to B to A to Z, and so I like that. And I haven't had the pleasure of Alan's going to show me the Fuse piece and how they did it. And I think all of this, the clustering of where all this comes together, is in a singular communication model, a singular sales system that I don't want to say that a monkey can do, but you don't have to, because I go into these dealerships all the time, sit at the desk, that's my favorite place to be, and I watch the things that they complain about all the time when the salesman come, oh, you don't have his driver's license, you don't have they're totally, not following the process. This software, their software, is completely designed to, the whole thing is a process.
Well, it's defining the process.
Yeah, so I think that our go forward in this industry is going to look, I'm not saying every dealer needs to go and do it exactly how they do it. What I'm saying is it's going to look like that from a sales perspective. The talent you have, the guy that is selling 25 cars a month, so he's a GM now,
Yeah,
he's going to go away.
We're painting by numbers.
Yes.
All right, we're painting by numbers,
Yep.
and that sounds bad when we
that's
say that.
That's a good one.
But
yeah.
that's not actually horrible.
No.
I mean, if my kids are at the age, so they like playing
They like to
paint by
paint by
numbers, and I
numbers.
kind of come by, I'm like, well, that actually looks pretty damn good. So, but then the question is, then if we are going to be painting by numbers, then what is that ultimate responsibility and the expectations of the salesperson? Tara, your thoughts?
So I think we've talked about customer experience a lot, and I think we heard that, Jeff Bezos, that's the most important thing
Yes, it is.
to him is customer experience. I think for dealers to truly survive and be that place that customers want to go, to Steve's point, they already know all about the car. They're in all the forums. They've been researching it. They know all the little doodads it has. It's about building, the salesperson's job is about building that brand experience, why that dealer, and making that customer experience the ultimate experience that they want to go there. Why, like you want to go to an Apple store, right? Or you want to go to these different places. They give you this amazing customer experience. That's going to be their job. Why them? Why come to them?
Them as an individual, the personality.
The dealer, and that, and we, them as the individual, that particular dealer. It's not about the car anymore. It's going to be about why come to them, and it's going to be all about that awesome customer experience that they can provide. The way they interact, all the way from the chat and the way they interact when they come to the store, and just making it be that more holistic approach and exciting. Excitement breeds excitement. We all know this from the car industry forever, and that's really, that experience is what sells cars. A Saturday afternoon in a dealership, well, pre-COVID, the reason you sold so many cars was because it was exciting. All these people were saying yes. Building that experience, that's truly going to be their job.
I love the fact that you bring that up, because I was just thinking about this. I've been asked this question a few times, like, what was my first experience in a car dealership? And I was 8 years old, and I went with my dad to buy an F-150. And we went to it was Don Chalmers Ford in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I know you're from the Southwest, so I figured you'd probably know who it was, right?
Yeah, I was just in that store 2 weeks ago.
And we got there, and there was a petting zoo. And a bouncy castle.
I love it.
All right, and a hot dog guy.
I can believe that.
And you know what? To me, at 8 years old,
oh my God,
I was like, "This is amazing! I can have whatever I want and run around and do whatever." Absolutely, as long as you don't come over here, son. So my dad even will tell this story. He goes literally for almost a couple of years after that, if I asked you what you want to do on the weekend, you would say, "I want to go to Don Chalmers Ford."
Yeah.
Because
I believe
that's
that.
what I associated. I associated this just really cool experience. And to your point, Tara, I mean, I think that's a great point. That's what's going to have to happen. That is going to be the responsibility. The why buys need to evolve, right? It's not enough that we've been in business for 30 years and we are family owned and we're part of the.
Who cares?
Who cares? Exactly.
We got a purple gorilla and lots of kids' toys. Bring them
Number
down.
one volume dealer.
Number one.
We have balloons.
Big one.
We need to move all these cars by Monday night, period.
The three they have on a lot. For you, Steve, what do you think that salesperson's responsibility needs to be now moving forward?
Well, I think, again, I'm going to talk from a technology perspective, because everything happens in the CRM. It just does. I mean, nobody's ever going to change my mindset on that. I know we get the data, but I think the responsibilities, like, we're trying to teach our stores to get rid of about 80% of the business rules because nobody's doing them anyway.
Right.
It's all about, see, we're all laughing because it's true. I mean, if there's one thing that's going to change, that would be one of the things we could all bind together on is, like, get rid of these frickin' business rules. But no, and use technology to get re-engagement of the customers. I think we're all having to do more with less in the auto industry. And before COVID, I think the average salesperson was doing 12 cars. I think it was what the NADA average was.
Yeah, 11.5, I think it was.
And then it went to like 15 during COVID. I think ultimately, if we can get rid of a lot of business rules, I would love to see the average salesperson get to 20 to 25 cars.
Amen.
And, and that's, if you could do more with less and be more efficient, and just talk to the customers, give the customers credit. And again, they're going to reach back out to you if you do get a good experience, or if they're on your website and you can know the right time. The other thing too, I think it's important, is they got to just, talk about customer experience. What do they do to, like, read somebody's Facebook page? And I mean, it's amazing how many times I go out, talk social selling, and if I go out there and I know that Curtis has got like 3 kids or something, I'll call him, "Curtis, you got 3 kids." No, that would be creeper. But that's the reason why he wants third row seating, people. Or if I'm a St. Louis Blues fan, they're playing the Colorado Avalanche. Now I can have fun with him because hopefully he's a hockey guy. Just don't run over my goalie again. But anyway, but those are all the things, like, you create customer
It's
experience.
making it personable.
You got to
It's personable. Connecting with the person.
Sales 101 is learning one thing about the person and focus on that 99% of the time, and you win the deal.
Yeah.
And that's what I just tell everybody in sales. And I think if you can build a relationship, that's going to be all about the customer experience, and people remember you for that.
Well, it is about that experience. And, I was thinking about this as we were kind of talking. Right? Like, we're looking at the next 18, 24, possibly even 36 months, guys, of no negotiation. Like, just think about that for a second, right? No negotiation. So these customers that are purchasing right now are purchasing, going into it, knowing that they're not negotiating, all right? I'm just looking for someone to facilitate an amazing experience. Now, when they come back for the next purchase, it's going to be the same thing all over again.
Can I jump in here? I'm sorry.
Yes.
So I get this because I'm thinking about this, and my old man, I'll forget.
Go,
But anyway, and it'll
Steve,
come.
go.
He'll
No,
be
no,
talking
go,
hockey
go,
or
please.
something. But no, this is what I think. To that point, okay. I say this to dealerships. Customers have no control over the pricing.
Mm-hmm.
What can they get control over? How they buy the vehicle.
Yes.
So if we know that this is a great opportunity for dealerships to kind of say and have that Chick-fil-A moment as far as how do I want to rebrand my dealership and the different ways that customers can buy the car.
100%.
And I if they don't take advantage over that opportunity, they're crazy. I just don't understand why in the world. If Sherry can buy that Porsche remotely, I mean, we go out there. Nobody goes out there and says, "Well, you want to do this on a live room meeting or a Zoom meeting, and we can do a part of this deal remotely instead of waiting until Saturday and hope the customer's going to come in." It's just timing is everything. If I'm on the phone and I can get the customer engaged and I get them looking at the car, I have a better chance of buying.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because I was.
Well, no, it's an exciting time. It actually generates quite an opportunity. Look, guys, I know it's towards the tail end of our time today, and I'm pretty confident we could probably go considerably longer. You guys have been an amazing set of guests. Thank you guys so much
Thank you very
for
much.
taking the time to jam. Hey, for everybody out there that's watching and listening right now and would love to connect with you, what's the best way to do so? Curtis, I'll start with you, and I'll work my way down.
So you can dial up 319-504-2002. No, 319-504-2002. Text me before. I'm going to say that because I know Steve's going to say that, so I'm just going to say it right now. Text me, not Steve, or text Steve and
Do you
then
think
me.
the watchers are literally having a pen and paper on their hand
Yes.
right now?
Text me. Here, I have a QR code for you. No. Anyways, or go to marketpoint.io. Marketpoint.io.
Thank you, Curtis. Tara, for yourself.
Well, since it was thrown out there, I feel like I have to now.
Yes.
So, yes, absolutely text me at 253-266-1339. Or you could always email me at Rego at charter.com. That's TARA.REGO@charter.com.
Awesome. Steve?
Just DM me at the Live with Drive guy. Come on. Go on my Facebook page. Go on my.
Just send me some smoke signals.
That's
I'll
right.
come.
It's DM me. You're not going to write down my number. DM me. Live with Drive guys. Steve Roessler. There you go.
Go live. Go live.
Woo! Live with Drive.
Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to jam with me today. This has been an absolute blast.
Thanks for tuning in to the Strategy with Jason podcast with your host, Jason Harris. Don't want to miss new content? Be sure to check out the full podcast library at strategywithjason.com to stay in the know. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy podcasting.